What's up, math scholars and math haters? This is Mr. W. Today we're going to go over question 15 from the 5th grade math questions that North Carolina released this past school year. All it's asking is for us to give the value of 1/6 plus 1/12 plus 2/6. There's actually two different ways we can do this, but in order to do a problem like this and to do it really well, we just need to know how to add fractions with different denominators. Alright, so I'm going to look and see that I have 1/6, 1/12, and 1/6. There's actually going to be two ways to solve this. I'll go ahead and do the first way, which I think is slightly harder. And I'm going to say that I'm looking at my denominators, and whenever I have different denominators, my two questions that I want to ask are, does the small one go into the big one? And if it does, how many times? So does 6 go into 12? And if so, 6 times what equals 12? Well, thankfully, 6 does go into 12. That makes the problem easier for us, and we would actually multiply by 2. So that means that I would take 1, multiply that by 2, 6, and multiply that by 2. I would do the same thing over here, times 2 and times 2. Now this gives me 1 times 2 is 2/12, plus 1/12 plus 2 times 2 is 4, 6 times 2 is 12. And now whenever I come across a problem like this, I'm going to remind myself that this is like adding 2 feet plus 1 foot plus 4 feet. It's going to give me an answer of 7 feet. The point is my unit doesn't change. I add my numbers and I keep my unit the same. And I'm going to do the same thing for this problem where I add fractions with the same denominator. I'm just going to add 2 plus 1 plus 4, and that is going to give me 7. My denominator, I'm treating it like my unit. I'm treating it like I treated feet in this problem. So that's going to stay the same. I end up with 7/12. Now the other way to solve this, which I think is slightly easier, you could get this from looking back at the fractions that the problem gave you to start with and thinking, okay, 1/6 and 2/6, those have the same denominator, so I can start with 1/6 plus 2/6, and I know that that equals 3/6, then I can go ahead and add 1/12 to that. I'll do the same thing I did to get a common denominator, where I multiply by 2 and multiply by 2. This leads me to 6/12 plus 1/12, and yes, you can see all of that. And 6 plus 1 also gives me 7. I keep my 12ths the same, so using two different methods, I got the same answer. And like I always say, it's good to have more than one method in your head so that you can check your work and make sure you did the problem absolutely right.